Welcome to Canadian Scrapbookers Technique Tasters. Kelly is here today to show us a stamping watercolor technique that is going to knock your socks off.
Wow, that's quite the lead-in.
Kelly, you are creating this gorgeous card, and this is the technique that you're going to be showing us.
Yes, I am.
So do you want to start off by basically telling us some of the products that you use before we get into the exact step-by-steps?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, for the paper layers, I have used a couple of things. I used Momenta cardstock, actually pattern paper, and it's beautiful. It's a collage series.
Very nice.
Have you ever used paper packs?
I love paper packs, and I highly recommend it for a beginner scrapbooker to go out when you get started and buy a paper pack that comes with all different kinds of pattern paper. They're coordinated, they're easy to use, it takes the thinking out of it. So yes, go ahead and grab yourself one.
I added some stickers, Momenta stickers to my sentiment.
They're like bubbles?
Yes, they're very cute. And then I used some coordination cardstock on my base, and coordination cardstock's really cool because you can distress it up, and it has this color, this inner core.
Shows that inner core.
Yes, it shows up differently.
And you used something to sand those edges.
I did. I used the Artsy Groove tool, and it's this little handheld battery operated cool tool which has 4 different heads, and you can sand away or work with mediums. And
you can do all different kinds of things. It's distributed by Momenta. Kim did a show on it. Don't miss it. You got to watch this guy in action.
Yes, you'll love it. For the watercolors itself, I used some Tombow markers. They're right here. And to stick everything together, I used the Tombow adhesives.
Okay.
The stamp is actually a heartfelt creation stamp. It's so pretty. It's called the Enchanted Mum Clusters.
That is a really pretty stamp.
Yes, and to finish off the image, I used Clear Snap Smooch.
Smooch.
Yes.
It gives it that little kiss at the end.
That kiss of color.
Yes. Okay, I'm excited.
Okay,
show me what you
let's
did.
get started.
Okay.
So to start things off, I'm going to pull out my Enchanted Mum stamp, and look at this packaging. It's so handy for storage. You just pull it out, and your stamps are ready to use.
And it looks like they've made it so that you could put it into a binder as well?
Yes, into a binder. Yeah, very, very good idea. All right, so I'm going to take 2 bright markers so it shows up well, and I will just basically use this.
So instead of using an ink pad, you're going to use your Tombow markers as the ink. Okay.
So I will use the side of the markers and just color in the areas.
And you're just randomly doing that?
Yes, just random.
I love random.
I love random too.
I can't mess up random.
No,
Well,
anything goes.
Anything goes with random.
Yeah, and you'll see the results are really, really cool. So I am using the side of it. You don't want to really use the tip of your Tombow dual brush pen because you will kind of ruin it for writing and other projects.
Yes.
It is dual tip, so this is the brush end that I'm using. The other one is like a nib bullet. Okay. So you want to use the brush end and just get all that coverage
and it
on
doesn't
your stamp.
dry. With the rubber, it's staying wet a little bit longer. Is that?
Yeah, a little bit. It stays wet.
Okay.
And I think I've got
as
everything.
Much as you can?
Yes.
Okay.
So
and you are not using an acrylic block. You're just stamping directly on there?
I'm reckless like Christy. She doesn't use a block either. So I will just push it down to get my image.
Okay.
And push really hard. And there you go. So
ooh, look at that. Voila.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect, and you'll see why. So then I'm going to take water and a paintbrush, and this is quite a fine tip because the stamp image is fairly fine, and I will just add some water like this.
It's that simple, really.
Yeah.
You know what? Watercolor effect sometimes seems complicated, but this is...
Using a stamp, you're kind of eliminating that fear of, oh my gosh, I can't watercolor anything.
Right.
Yeah. And you just go along, and you can be very abstract and put a ton of water on here.
This reminds me of the coloring books a long time ago when I was a kid, and you used
those
the water
lines on there that
and
were
then the
there
color
already
automatically appeared. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Is that dating us a bit?
Yes, it is, so don't talk about that. Yeah, there we
That's
go.
nice.
Yeah, and again, you will add as much water as you like. So I'll just quickly.
And are you using, what kind of cardstock are you using? Is it?
It's just watercolor paper.
It's watercolor
so
paper.
You can use some cardstocks for watercolor, but you want to test them out because the pens don't always move and with water on all the watercolor papers, or all the cardstocks rather. Okay, so we'll just leave it at that, and I just want to show you quickly how to make a stem. And I find with these markers, I use a couple of shades of different colors.
You didn't stamp the stamp the stem.
No.
Okay.
I'm just going to draw the stem very simply and kind of sketch with 2 colors.
I think
or
I think
three.
I could do that.
Yeah, you can. And I'm just going to add water. And you'll see how it kind of transforms. I'll clean my brush a bit, otherwise my stem will be pink.
Yeah.
But you know what, in watercolor that's okay too. You can have a pink stem. And so the marker colors move together when you add water to them. And then you have a very pretty watercolor
I was wondering
stem
if
and
you were going to
leaves.
be able to get rid of that one line, and you totally did.
Yes. So you can put different lines and then you just get there.
That's very nice.
Super easy.
Super easy.
So I'm going to take the dried watercolor flour I
Dun,
have.
da, da, da. It is now dry.
Bing! Poof!
Pull it out of the oven. No, don't put it in the oven. We're just kidding. It dries on
do
its
not
own.
put in the oven.
No.
And I'm going to take the Clear Snap Smooch.
The smooch.
So Smooch is the pearlized accent ink, and this is Moonlight. It's kind of whitish. And I just want to accent, add some shimmer to this watercolor flower image. And you can see that we have a very fine tip, hard brush on the end. And I'll just follow the swirls of the petals of this mum. There we go.
Very nice.
Yeah, and then you just follow the swirls along. And
With
then
this,
you have
this ink, I've seen one time Kathy Allen, another of designers, she has to shake it. Does anything settle? Do you know, Kelly?
Yeah, you should always
You
shake
always
it.
give
Did
it
I
a
shake
little?
it?
No,
I
but
shook
you
it
might have shook it
before.
before. I think you shook it before.
Sure I
but
did.
If
Okay.
if you smack it like this,
Yes, you have to shake it because that shimmer does
it
settle.
does settle. Okay, I wasn't
then-
100% sure.
That's it. It dries very quickly and your card is done.
That is stunning. Now, to finish off this card, I'll just briefly, I think you used, is this Mayart's twine?
ribbon, yes,
Or-
twine.
Very nice.
Yeah, and then I used another Tombow pen to do this heartfelt
That's
word.
That's your
That's my
handwriting, isn't it?
handwriting,
Oh,
yes.
Kelly does amazing stuff with the Tombow pens.
Thank you.
She's inspired all of us at Canadian Scrapbooker to start using them more often. Well, thank you, Kelly. That is a fantastically easy stamping watercolor technique. Thank you for sharing
Very
it with
easy.
us. Kelly is going to show us a wonderful combination of using a stencil, using stamps, and adding a watercolor.
Yes.
Yes.
You're going to get excited about this.
We are excited
Yes.
about this. If you look here on her card, this is what you're going to create here for us.
Yes. This right here, these watercolor daisies with a stamped image on it.
Beautiful. To get started, just give us a little information on some of the products that you used.
All right, for the card layers, I used Momenta papers and Coordinations cardstock, and I also used a Momenta stencil and Momenta metal stickers, and what else do I have
These are
here?
those Momenta artsy metal stickers. So they kind of look like embellishments, but they're not. They're actually a sticker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they're metal.
But they're metal.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Very cool. They're self-adhesive. I have Heartfelt Creations dies and stamps as well. I have some Clear Snap Color Box ink, and I also have the Groove tool from Artsy that I sanded my Coordinations paper with.
You made it look vintagey with the Groove tool.
I did. I
from
distressed
Momenta.
it.
Love that. And this is what that looks like. I love that it comes in that cute packaging.
Yeah, with 4 different heads.
Yes.
All right.
Awesome.
Tombow markers and Tombow adhesive as well, and that's
Keeping it
how
all
it all
stuck
came
together with your Tombow adhesive. That's
Right. Oh, and I also used some Coordinations vellum.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah, for
I've
the
seen that
stamp
right there.
sentiment, right.
Okay. Okay, get started.
Okay.
I'm really excited about seeing how you did that because it looks hard. It looks hard.
Oh, no, it's not
It
hard.
does. It does. It looks hard.
Aw. Okay, I am going to start by taping down my stencil with some washi tape because I don't want it to move, and you'll see why in a second.
Okay.
So put tape here and here. And then I'm going to take a piece of watercolor paper and slip it underneath like this. There we go, and position it that way. All right, and I'll just hold this firmly so the watercolor paper underneath doesn't move.
Okay, so you don't want it to bleed too much, but it will a tiny bit, won't it? Or yeah.
Well, it shouldn't.
It shouldn't. You don't want it to. You're
Yeah.
trying to not.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm going to take the Tombow pen. It has 2 ends. One is the brush tip, but this time for the stencil, I'm going to use this bullet nib
The bullet
tip.
end. Okay.
And I am going to just simply trace the stencil. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be just really quick and exact, and you'll see why, because the watercolor is very abstract.
Are you adding the watercolor right away on top of this, or do you pull the paper out?
I will pull it out. Boy, you're eager to find out all the answers.
It's because I was worried about it bleeding through because I thought you were going to add the water, but you're not doing that yet.
No.
Okay, so that makes sense. So I was confused. No longer confused.
Okay, yeah. You have to be patient for this. Okay, I've done that with the peach outline, and now I will take one of my green Tombow pens, nib end, and I will just get my stems done outline them, like so. All right, I'll pull out my paper now, and I'm just going to scribble a little bit on here like this. With the brush
just randomly,
end.
just
Yes.
randomly. I love that.
I have my peach random and my pink random, and I'll add some yellow randomly.
And this is where we're going. I love this card right here. That's where we're going. So it's just so neat to see that come to life.
Yes, very quick and easy. And I will take my water and then just start adding my water. And I usually go along the edges. Now you can add less water and then have a more defined edge, or you can add more water and get that really abstract look. And that's basically it. The Tombow watercolor inside the flower, they blends together. And of course, I just scribbled a little bit of color. You can really saturate this.
You could go crazy. Yeah, definitely.
You can saturate it with tons of color. And again, the stems, just
so
add
easy.
color.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. We could show this technique over and over and over again on every show because that is so easy, and you've got a watercolor piece of art there.
Yes, there you go. Now, what I would do is I'd let this dry, and then do the next step, which is really fun.
Okay. Do you want me to take this off? Or are you good?
It can stay.
Okay.
Yep.
Let her stay.
And I'm going to take my blending palette and just scribble on my
That's what this is a blending
Tombow
palette.
blending palette. It's
So
a plastic piece of paper.
Okay, but it's actually thicker than that. Oops, sorry, Kelly. Do you need that one?
Nope.
You can let stuff drop on the floor. You don't have to pick it up, and the watercolor technique is still going to work.
Still gonna work.
Yes.
I will mist this with water.
And I do have to point out that Kelly's beautiful dog, Finn, actually got a hold of this mister, so that makes me, if you have to follow Kelly on Instagram.
It's a good mister if my puppy has it in its mouth for 20 minutes and it's still
no
intact.
leakage, so way to go, that's funny.
Yeah, okay, so I've got this done. I will take my dried flowers and I just want to add some color in the background.
That was crazy.
Yeah. Like
there
so.
You go. Oh, I see, you're creating
and then
this.
your background has a
soft-
very soft watercolor look. And when this is dry,
Here, I'm just gonna, do you want
like
me to wipe this
magic,
off?
sure,
Okay.
like magic,
Like
it dries. We
magic.
snap our fingers.
Came out of the oven. No, don't put it in the oven, that's an old joke, I'll stop saying that.
And I am going to, I just will flip my stencil because I did my flowers the other way, like this. And
Oh, are you gonna, oh, you're
I'm
stamping.
going to put it back
I
under the
see
mask.
what you're doing.
And now my stencil becomes a mask for stamping.
I see. I was wondering how you've got the sentiment on
Taking my
there.
color box chalk ink. And of course you can stamp with any color.
Now, you've covered up some of the stamp with washi tape?
I have covered it up because I didn't want this part of the image of the stamp to be on the flowers.
That's a very good tip.
And I just ink up my stamp and then I'm going to press it down onto the flowers and get the letters and words all on there inside. And
Very nice.
you have your stencil as a mask. Pull it out. And then your text is inside the flowers.
That is beautiful, Kelly. And then you put it all together. Oh, you also stamped here on some vellum?
I did. I
Before we
stamped on
move
some
on.
vellum. And
Did you use any particular kind of ink to stamp on the vellum? Or
I used the color box chalk ink in Blackbird.
it's like a multi-surface ink?
Yeah, I love it. It's great. You can use it for everything.
Cool. And I see you've used some Arts twine. Mm-hmm. And what's that little charm? Is that just from your stash? Or?
No, that little charm is an artsy charm, a little package of embellishments, and I just tied it in with the twine for a really cute effect.
That's really pretty. That's Momenta distributes for Artsy. Very
Yes.
cool. Well, and then, oh, one more thing on this card before you go away. We got the dies from
Heartfelt
as
Creations,
well.
the delightful daisy die. I added some leaves.
You ran it through the Big Shot machine
I did.
and you tucked it in there. Kelly, you make watercolor look so easy.
It is easy.
Thank you. Kelly is going to show us how to use the Close to My Heart Circle diffuser. And of course, you're going to add watercolor. That works
Surprise!
perfect. You are going to make this fantastic card.
Right.
And you're going to show us how to use this tool right
Yes.
here. This is the circle
diffuser.
diffuser.
Yes.
So give her.
Okay, so you can use a circle diffuser with any embossing folder, and Close to My Heart has lots of them. We're going to use it with this one today. And with the circle diffuser added to your dry embossing, you can either get an effect of the circle image embossed only, or the exclusion of that circle. So
I
we'll
guess
show you this exclusion on
the point of the circle diffuser is to either have the dry embossed image inside the circle or have it around the circle. So you
right.
can see that right here.
Yes, so we're going to do this version with this, and it's 2 pieces. So the circle and the outside of it.
Okay, and we're going to
so we're going to bring our big shot. So for this, you need to open up your platform to here.
There we go. We kind of had it all set up for you.
Yes, and there's my watercolor Close to My Heart paper inside. I'll place the circle diffuser right on it.
Because we don't want the embossing to go in there.
No, and I'll cover that with my sandwich plate. And then we will just send it
all
through.
The products that Kelly's using are close to my heart.
And yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
Rock and roll.
Dun, 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 dun.
And here's the surprise.
I'll move this out of the way.
Open it up. And there you have this really cool circle area, flat in the center and embossed around it.
Very cool.
Yes. And I'll turn it this way, and then simply what you're going to do, like I did on the card, is grab, look at this beautiful palette of Close to My Heart watercolors.
That makes me happy.
Yes.
That makes me happy to just look at that little section of love.
Right. And we're going to
Right.
we're going to just simply
Now this is the watercolor technique that is also flawlessly easy to do. You just dip it in the water, dip it in the color, and paint.
go and paint and rinse in between or not. You can always clean up your watercolor paints afterwards.
Yes, with a baby wipe or anything. Yeah. So while you're doing that, I'm just going to go through, you used a Close to My Heart stamp set.
I did.
Some Close to My Heart ink.
Yes.
And what did you use the crystal, the liquid glass it's called?
Yes.
Where did you use that? Just to adhere everything down?
You can use it as an adhesive also, and you can use it to make something shiny, like it'll shine as a dimensional.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Like an embossed look. You just have to let it dry longer.
Yes.
Like a wet embossed.
Yes, exactly. So
Okay.
I could put it over the Oh Happy Day, and that's all there's to it.
And you're just painting away.
I am.
Look at all of the
Show
different
the
kinds
samples
of, right here, we can see all the different kinds
of embossing.
of embossing folders and using the circle diffuser in the center there.
The other thing I just wanted to mention is, see this floral pattern that's
Right.
embossed? Well, you could actually take your fine brush and just paint
The details.
the details on top. And then you get this really pretty watercolor embossed details on the surface, the raised areas.
Right. Yeah. Well, you know what, Kelly? You're the queen of watercolor. She absolutely is.
That's a big crown to wear.
That is a big crown to wear, and you wear it well.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing this technique with us.
That was fun.
Yes. Kelly took all of those wonderful watercolor techniques and you put them smack dab right onto this beautiful layout that you created
I did.
of your beautiful daughter.
Aw,
It's a
thank
gorgeous
you.
photo. So what all did you do on here if you just want to walk us through some of the techniques?
All right. I took the stencil and I took the Tombow pens,
Right.
did that watercolor effect with the stencil.
Very nice.
Then I masked it again with the stencil and stamped with the Heartfelt Creations and the color box chalking.
And you turned it into a journaling
A
card.
journaling card,
That
yes,
is
I did.
very beautiful.
I just added also a little Heartfelt Creations stamp
Sentiment
there.
stamp.
Yes.
Very nice.
And then I took the Close to My Heart watercolor paper and palette set.
Right.
And
That beautiful section of love.
I embossed it with a Close to My Heart embossing folder, and then I just painted all of these different leaves and flowers that were
fine
raised.
details, just
yeah.
by dipping it in water and dipping it into the paint.
Yes.
Perfect.
Very easy. Very simple.
Yeah.
The last technique is the watercolor stamping. So under this vellum, this Coordinations vellum with the title that I wrote with the Tombow pen.
Right onto the vellum.
Right onto the vellum.
And it dried nicely, I see.
It
hey?
did, yeah, it was
Very nice.
great. I just took another piece of watercolor paper and I did this stamping effect with the Heartfelt Creations Enchanted Mum stamp.
So that's the technique where you use the Tombow marker right on the rubber stamp,
Right.
stamp
It down and then
go
get your
over with the
paintbrush
water.
and cover it with water. I went very abstract with this, so
yeah.
you can't really see that flower
It's
defined.
very artistic looking. I love that effect.
Yeah, I thought it would be a cool background for this title.
Now this is not watercolor, although it does look like it is. That's the Momenta pattern paper?
Yeah, that's that paper pack that has lots of collage effects.
Right here, yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of layers of that, and then this base is the Coordinations cardstock, and I actually embossed it with that same embossing folder from
I
Close
see
to My
that.
Heart.
Very
And then
nice.
I used that groove tool.
To groove it up.
Got groovy with the groove tool.
You did so.
And I sanded it up to expose that inner core.
Now, is this clear? Is this ink? Is that?
That's my clear snap chalk ink. I
Okay.
just wanted a touch of a darker edge, so
Right.
I took my chalk ink and ran it all the way around.
And this beautiful
May
trim.
Arts ribbon.
that
And you
is
know
so
what?
pretty.
It's self-adhesive.
Is it? That is very cool.
Yeah,
So you
I just took off the backing and set it down, and it doesn't move. It's amazing.
wow, need to get some of that.
You do.
Kelly, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time, everyone, take care and happy scrapbooking.